Hey guys, Peter here to tell you about the latest from Fit for a King, The Hell We Create, out October 28th on Solid State Records. The album has 10 tracks, 38 minutes in length, and this is the band's 7th full-length studio album. They are an American metalcore band. From a design point of view, this album is perfect. It's incredibly fluid, incredibly dynamic. Now, the dynamic elements of this record are not just there from track to track and in the transitions between tracks. They are within the tracks themselves. This record has ebbs and flows everywhere. I would define it as a chaotic roller coaster ride, but in a good way, because it's fun to listen to this album. It's super engaging. It takes you along for the journey and you're happy to be within it. Now, adding 38 minutes to the overall design helps define the record a lot better. The quality of the album doesn't dissipate with the length of the record itself. This album stays fresh. It doesn't get stale, it doesn't get old. It doesn't matter if you're listening to it for the first or 100th time, you always feel like you're getting something different from it. That energy, that vibe that the album has, it's really the lifeline of the record, but it's only possible with this length and this structure. As far as the sound is concerned, the mixing of heavy and melodic elements and then pushing those melodic elements into the melancholic ground is the formula of the sound. It allows you to feel a more organic starting point on every single track. Perhaps that organic feel doesn't come as much from the sound as it does from the vocal approach and the lyrical content, but that has an impact on how the sound comes across. A sound that has great production, because you could feel all the different elements. You could feel the guitars, drums, bass, electronic elements, orchestrations, vocals. Everything has its own path, everything has its own lane, but then they're all blended really well with one another in order for the songs to get the most out of each and every single one of them. Not depending on just one portion or one piece of this puzzle to drive the overall picture, but rather piggybacking off of different ones depending on what the song calls for. This is a very individualistic style record when you look at how each song is put together and how each song sounds and how unique and different they are from one another. But the organic starting point, how you feel towards it, the atmosphere, the vibe, the emotion that you're able to squeeze out of each and every single song is what brings all of these tracks together under one single umbrella. That is only possible with the design that they did and then the production that they put together for the soundscape, for the sound experience of this record. Modern production, but not overly produced, not stripping away the energy, the essence, the heartbeat and soul of the music, of the vocal performance, of the lyrical content, of the idea that they had for the album in general. Now, the electronic elements on this record were interesting to me because I almost feel like they could have gone a little bit further, and that perhaps would make the album feel less organic. So they took them as far as they could without affecting the essence of the record. That's not always easy to do. A lot of bands these days that have this sound, that want to create this experience, at times they push that knob a little bit too far, taking it all the way to 11. In this case, I felt like it was an 8.5, 9, but it's perfect for this sound, it's perfect for this album because it comes at you as glimpses and it's not driving the songs and you're not overly connecting with it, taking you away from paying attention to something else. But they definitely have an incredible impact in defining where you're going with the track, the definition of the song, the atmosphere that the song has, the mood that the song has, and then connecting those moods between all 10 tracks. So I enjoyed the electronic aspect of this album tremendously because it didn't get in the way of the heaviness of the album, of the melody of the album, of the heartbeat of the album. Now, the guitars on this record are one of the driving forces, but I honestly don't see this as a guitar-driven record. This is a record that depends on all the different elements to make the sound work. There's not one single one of them that's more important than the next. But the guitar sound and execution on this album is definitely top-notch. It definitely enhances the quality of the heavier tracks, allowing you to bring in a little bit more thickness, a little bit more groove at times. This record really uses the guitars to move the needle as far as what the bass line of the songs are going to be all about. Either be more melodic, either be a little bit more melancholic, either be a little bit groovier or a little bit heavier. It always feels like that definition of sound comes deeply from what the guitar sound is offering more so than anything else. And then on top of everything, you have the vocals. The vocals on this album are they're just perfect. Let me just say that they're perfect. The clean vocals are phenomenal. I really enjoy the clean vocals, perhaps slightly more than the harsh vocals, because they connected more with the underbelly of the record. They connected more with the melancholy that the album carries. They connected more with the organic starting point of each and every single song, and they defined those moments within the tracks and within the overall record a lot better. I was able to feel what the song was about. I was able to feel what drove the creation of that track. And when you have a vocal performance that takes you behind the curtains, that allows you to see what originated that song and allows you to better understand the lyrical content, you have an album that's never going to get old, because you're always going to be able to relive those moments every time you listen to a song. Now, the harsh vocals feel more like the outburst of the aggression, feel more like the outburst of everything that's been burning on the inside, because this is a very introspective record. And when you have an introspective record and you use the clean vocals to tell one side of that coin, you need the harsh vocals to tell the other. The harsh vocals do a wonderful job telling the other side of the coin. They do a wonderful job bringing aggression and intensity to the record, allowing the album to have that chaos, not just in the sound, but also in the overall vocal performance. All around, this album is a home run. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed the sound, the design, the structure, the lyrical content, the vocal delivery. I mean, there's nothing on this album that I would have changed. The album is absolutely perfect as it is. It gives you enough ebbs and flows within the songs from song to song. It throws a few curveballs at you towards the later stages of the record as you feel like the album is getting heavier as you progress. A little bit of a softball comes your way and then changes your dynamic. But all of these things are important in order to make their album engaging all around. You don't want to just create 10 singles. You want to create 10 songs that could be singles, but still that work well with one another, giving quality to the overall project, to the overall idea. As far as favorite songs are concerned, I want to start off with Sink Below, a heavy driven track both musically and vocally, bringing a high level of intensity into the forefront. The chorus brings in the clean vocals. Using some layers in those clean vocals in that chorus allows it to have a little bit more volume without necessarily making it heavy. But it changes nothing sound-wise. This is a very linear song as far as the sound is concerned. How it feels in the verses, it's how it feels in the chorus. The only thing that's changing is the vocal approach, and that's enough in order to create a ripple effect and make the song feel very interesting all around. Next we have Eyes Roll Back. The electronic elements of this track add to the overall essence of the song. They blend really well with the heaviness, with the volume, with everything that the track is offering musically. Heavy song, both musically and vocally. The heaviest song on the album. There is no song that comes close to this one as far as what the sound is offering you and as far as the dynamic range that the vocals are providing and the heaviness within that dynamic range. The guitars pack an incredible punch. They're thick, they're heavy, and they push you forward. The drums just bulldoze over you. The drums are at its peak as far as heaviness and power is concerned. Now, it's a song that still feels balanced because what's happening musically is also happening vocally. It's a song that's all about creating volume, it's all about creating thickness, it's all about creating heaviness and aggression. And just because the song is heavy and aggressive, that doesn't mean it's losing as far as the momentum is concerned, because this track is coming at you relentlessly. Last but not least, and definitely last because this is the last song on the album, What Are You Left Behind? This song kind of encapsulates the whole vibe of the record, and it has elements that you saw throughout the entire album coming together as one. I really enjoy the electronic elements, but I enjoy the orchestrations that they added to this track. It changed the vibe. It put a closing remark on how the album feels, on how the album sounds, on how everything comes together. The clean vocals on this song lower your guard. It allows you to feel differently towards it. It allows you to come in from a different angle and bring a little bit more melancholy into a very melodic sound that's already there. The heaviness of sound that the song has breaks through that melancholy, breaks through that veil of more organic sound. And that's interesting because you don't want a track like this to become a little bit subdued by how it feels and by how it's coming across. So having those jolts of heaviness breaking through it allows you to feel more movement within the track and makes the song more engaging and makes the song more interesting. Now, the clean vocals really help define the message, not just of the lyrics, but the message in the song all around. An important element that allows the listener to gravitate to, hold on to, and then release it when that heaviness comes in and you feel that jolt of energy that's really important in order for you to reset your mind and reset your perception of the song. An absolute banger of a track that has an absolute banger of a chorus. The screaming vocals help also break through that veil and put an exclamation mark on how the song is put together, not just sound-wise, but also vocally. This is it. Fit for a King, The Hell We Create, out October 28th on Solid State Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.